But here we go, guys. Everyone, welcome to game number 1 of the first series of the day, Hera versus Ganji. They're playing with the Khmer and the Hindustanis respectively. Up in the north and down the south, Hera will be playing in the blue color and Ganji will play in the red color respectively as well. So, for these civilizations, and starting with Hera. We'll see that the Khmer get 10% faster moving battle elephant line units. In addition to that, we also get for the Khmer, farmers do not need mills or TCs for food generation, for dropping food, rather. In addition to that, we also have for the Khmer nobility requirements and the ability to garrison 5 villages inside each house, while for the team bonus, their scorpions get 1 extra range. Now notice, Ganji is going ham and he's taking all the sheep. And Hera doesn't know. He's going forward now. And he's going to find a few. He can find 6 sheep over here. And he's going to, by the looks of it. Not quite. He's going to stop at 3. But Ganji could come over and take these. And he's going to. And in the end, we have no Britons. Speak of. Yeah, and the scouts need to engage against each other. Hera still does have 1 sheep that's going back home. And who's coming up on top here? Well, Hera was the one chasing Ganji, and Ganji was the one turning around and taking the fight. I noticed Ganji at the very last second. He turns around and walks away so that he can be the last one to issue the attack command. And I think that's how you're probably going to come out on top over here. But regardless, we talked about the Khmer, we did not talk about Hindustanis yet. The red player civilization will get a massive villager discount, starting at 10% but going as high as 25% and increments of 5% per age. We'll see for the civilization, in addition to all of that, 1 and 1, +1/+1 extra armor on gunpowder units and 25% faster attacking camels, so it's fantastic. Team bonus, camels like Cavalry and Hazar get 2 bonus damage against buildings, and that's going to summarize both these player civilizations. So, in the end, Hera got 1 extra sheep over here, if you can call it extra. Actually, he's got just the 2 remaining sheep underneath the TC, and this is one of these is the one that I believe he took away from Ganji, right? Otherwise, the red player would have, even prevented Hera from collecting from this sheep anymore, and Hera would have either been forced into farms or taken the boars. Now he finds the 2 missing sheep that he had around his TC. So he will have 2 more, but yeah, of course, compared to what Ganji's got available right now, it's just going to be peanuts. 8 extra sheep already available for Ganji. Awesome. If he was playing Gujaras, he would probably be having such a good time right now. Good weekend. Turned out really well. So well, in fact, that I took a few portions to my dad. He was happy. Nice, Paolo. Sounds great. So I prepared some casserole, I guess you can call it. I'm not really sure that's the name for the thing that I'm trying to describe, but I think it's probably the closest. I basically just poured a bunch of rice and lentils and sweet potato, broccoli, cauliflower, some onion on the pressure cooker and just let it cook for 25 minutes and it was done. It was awesome. And I had enough for 3 days. Prepared a bunch of onions yesterday, cauliflower and broccoli as well. Love it, absolutely love it. I think it was like 3 kilograms of onions, and now it's safely stored in the fridge for use throughout the week. As well as the cauliflower and the broccoli, which I love. It's such a good food, and I only started having cauliflower, I think, a year ago or 2 years ago. I think that was the first time ever that I had cauliflower after seeing an American Test Kitchen's recipe for cauliflower soup. I tried it and it was, oh god, so good. And from that point onwards, I started buying cauliflower pretty much weekly, and now it's one of my favorite foods. I can eat it. I never get tired of it. It's like avocados. I just kind of process it into small bits, just cook in a pan and can have it in spoonfuls, you know. It's so good. Olive oil, salt, pepper, and that alone is already so nice. And I would imagine it's somewhat nutritious as well, right? So it's great. It's great when you have this pleasure for foods that are actually good. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but to be fair, with this new part-time job, side gig that I've taken, that hopefully is not going to be much of an issue. Oh! Ganji trying to maneuver the scout away from Hera's range or reach. Could not do it in the end. So the village is here already. Ganji, he has the stable already up, and Hera is going for an archerage. Cauliflower and broccoli are both superb. Radishes too, underrated. I love radishes, but unfortunately they are not available in the store that I go to get my produce from. But I love it. Radishes, turnip, it's so good too. I have some spinach over there to prepare, as well as some zucchini. But I think I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, because today I kind of really anticipated that I'm going to have no time for absolutely anything. It's going to be a packed day. There's extra scout coming in from Ganji. He's gonna try and take Hera scout, and he's not gonna be able to. And at the same time, Hera was actually preparing a little bit of a trap for Ganji's scout over there. Did you see that? He garrisoned the villager inside the house and was waiting for Ganji to come in, get past the walls, and then close it up behind it. It made tasty, really tasty soup with radishes, potatoes, carrots, and cauliflower. Yeah. So one of the things that I really like about just bulk preparing produce and just leaving it already cooked and stored, is that then you can mix them however you want, and you can add some broth to it, and it's already so good. You can make soup with it. Don't forget, turnip is the soup. Very good. And the parsnip or two, I'm really sure what that means though. They're just coming out from Hera. Way too small in numbers to be out into the open like this. Yeah. So they get completely wiped out. Not even a single scout goes down for Mr. Ganji. Instead, Hera. Yeah, Hera's gonna be the one taking the most losses. So far, Ganji's look good. He's got 1 second of idle TC time. He's ahead in score now as well. Parsnip is a vegetable? I figure. I'm not really sure which vegetable. White carrot? Oh, okay. I think I know what you mean then. Yes. Is this a tournament? This is a league. LGH time. This is T90 Titans League. And we are in the group stage right now. Hera is playing Ganji for Group C. We can take a look at the standings after the series is over. And then this is going to keep on going for a while. First villager going down over there. First Eco Blood. Yes, sir. Oh, it's open! It's open! Hera tried to get the quick walls, and he's not gonna be able to do it, but the archers are there, so he's going after the archers first. He's going to leave the scout too low HP for them to actually do any damage anymore, so he does end up getting yet another villager. He's gonna try to go for another one, and he does get another villager, but the scouts will in the end get pushed away. And this was so good though from Ganji. A little bit flip-floppy, to be fair. Probably would have been able to get more damage down if he just tried to prioritize the villagers over the archers from the get-go without switching targets, but in the end, 3 villager kills against Hera while going up to the castle age earlier. Are you kidding me? How is Ganji doing this well? Now the question becomes, Will he sustain this kind of performance? Will he sustain this kind of lead until we get to later stages of the game? Because Hera, we know, of course, the longer the game goes, the less of an impact that's going to have on Hera compared to Ganji, would be my guess. So yeah. There's a T90 logo. Oh yes. This one. Parsnip, carrots, potatoes. Some sweet potatoes put to a blender, add cream. Then get a really good baguette and dip it to that soup. Well, no cream for me unless I find a vegan one, but I can probably make it with something else. There's a very, very tasty dip that you can make with nutritional yeast, carrots, and potato, actually. It's really good. Could potentially use that. There we go. Castle H is here now for Hera. Ganji. Ganji is going for extra TCs right away as soon as he gets to the Castle H. Finally, these archers might be able to get some damage done. The scouts are taking a lot of HP losses from Ganji. And Hera does have the second TC. It seems like it's going to be a double TC full crossbow push from Hera. We have seen this already before in the past. Usually you want to either commit to one thing or the other. If you want to play defensive or if you want to be more aggressive, you can go for extra TCs or you can go for your crossbows. The thing is, well, not really your crossbows necessarily, it can be knights or whatever, right? But the thing is, we have seen, since crosses are so cheap to produce, it is actually possible for players to go for economy behind this as well. But of course, they will need something else to get damage done with, potentially some siege. Even a spare manual is going to be great. Right now, the crosses on their own cannot really do too much. Unless you're playing with Saracens, crosses are never going to be enough on their own. Unless your opponent's maybe open, but of course, Ganji's not only close, but he's got 3 TCs already to protect his economy with, plus the defensive siege workshop, so Hera is going for the 3rd TC right now, still behind by about 6 workers. And Ganji is in a good spot. Ganji's pretty good. Isn't he the guy that plays that Rush game a lot? Rush game. Oh, you mean like he rushes in the game a lot? Like he's aggressive? Ganji has certainly, let's say, risen. There we go. The past few months, in the past year, I think would be the right way to say it. No, the game where you get like 1,000 resources to start and build ASAP and rush. Oh, deathmatch, Ganji? Right. Yeah. You're referring to deathmatch. Ganji, I'm not really sure actually how active he was around the deathmatch community. I know that Freaking Andy was, and might be still a very active deathmatch player. I'm not really sure if he still is, but I know that he was. Yeah, and I'm not really sure about Ganji actually. Still keep it to my vegetarians, to my vegetarian 5 days a week thing, give or take. So trying all kinds of vegetable comps. There's a lot of Black Forest. There's a lot of villager fighting. Yes, that's true. RTC is coming in for Ganji right now, and Hera took longer to get the 3rd TC up himself compared to Ganji. And Ganji will be on 4 TCs very soon, so he should be able to not only keep up with this villager lead over here, but potentially even build upon it, extend it, And he's even taking the time to go and collect some relics, actually. That's gonna be the first relic coming in. For Ganji, he's got the monastery at the heart of his base. Talk about the importance of faith for Ganji's people right now. But here come the crossbows though. We have one knight. And the crossbows will get the villager down. Not quite, not quite, not without ballistics. And the nuggets converted right away. And Ganji's defense is looking solid. And Hera's gonna keep on trying to put more pressure on. This is what I was talking about. He is going for the spare mangonel. So he's got something else to put pressure with. Not just the crossbows drought, but Ganji has already had so much time to get the extra TCs up. He's built a 10 villager lead right now. And he does have a strong enough economy to not only keep villager production going from all 3 TCs, but also even go for a few camels. So, camels, scorpions, defenses from Ganji should be pretty good. There we go. Ganji's starting to expand the walls, notice. He's gonna try to go to the edge of the map, which is going to allow him to secure this neutral gold. To be fair, Hera doesn't really have right now any protection for any neutral resources. And another conversion's coming up. That knight will end up getting a villager down, probably even more than a villager, but should end up getting converted, right? Wait, what is a monk? There was a monk that he was going to target the knight with. Is it this one? I thought it was two. I might have seen it wrong. Anyway, that DC is still under a lot of pressure, but Ganji has taken the mangonel himself and he's trying to go to the mangonels from Hera. He's got scorpions on the way now as well, so that's going to help against the crossbows. If it's not the scorpions, it's going to be the camels, as the numbers are looking very good for the red player. He's getting us around against the crossbows with the camels. And if he ends up getting past the crossbows over here and preventing them from walking away any further, then the scorpions will take care of all of this. So now Ganji is taking a beautiful, beautiful engagement. Hera did manage to save enough resources to go up to the Imperial Age though, while Ganji on the other hand not so much. He does have a good amount of food workers, he's got a good amount of gold miners as well, so he shouldn't really take too long to click up to the Imperial Age himself, and he's been collecting stone, as has Hera. Both these players very soon will have enough resources to go for a castle. In the end though, Ganji's villager lead is reduced to only 6 extra workers compared to Hera, who is still on 3 TCs. It's probably not as high as I was expecting it to be at this point already for Ganji, considering how much earlier he got the 3rd TC, how much earlier he got the 4th TC. Ended up racking up a lot of extra TC time compared to Hera, and is not really in a position to go up to the Imperial Age yet. Seems to be spending a lot of resources going for military, so this is gonna be a castle age push from Ganji. And given the amount of units Hera went for, maybe Ganji would be expecting Hera to still be in the castle age, very much so. But it was crossbows for the most part, do not take any food, right? So Ganji probably knows better. He probably expects Hera to have had up until this point a stronger food economy. But we'll see. Is that Ganji's playing amazing and Hera's still in? Yes, exactly. Hera over here has managed to keep up, despite this extremely one-sided 2-to-1 kill ratio for Ganji, not 2-to-1 anymore. Decides to relocate the castle. Let's take a look. Yeah, unit control is extremely important over here. We have a mangonel. The mangonel is taking one of the scorpions down. Still have a scorpion and a mangonel from Ganji. And Hera does not have the mangonel anymore. Does not have too many crossbows. But Ganji's in control. Maybe not the best here. Good attack round. Manages to get a castle up, but Hera's gonna be in the Imperial Age, and he is! He is in the Imperial Age! So we see a trebuchet come out right away from the castle. On the right hand side, right? Meanwhile, Ganji is going after the Imperial Age himself, but he's gotta be careful, man. The moment Hera gets Arbalisters, even if he does not get Thumb Ring. With the Chimera over here, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the possibility of Arbalisters against Camels being so strong, even without Thumb Ring. And Hera is taken into it. He's going for Bracer right now. He's got 29 crossbows, so not going for Arbalister over here. Will be surprising for sure from Hera, given the amount of units he still has out. It's definitely going to make the upgrade worth it. So here comes the trebuchet already from Hera. He's gonna have a castle to protect it with as well. And Ganji on the other hand, Ganji's getting the stone walls up, so he's in a good spot to defend himself. He's not really going to have too many issues, right? Yeah. Even going for the stone walls on the right hand side, so this kind of buys Ganji some peace of mind, but it's open on the left hand side! And Hera doesn't know, he won't realize about it. The trebuchet is deployed already for Hera, and Ganji's gonna be in the Imperial Age in just a minute, but he's got a single castle, so Hera already has 2 trebuchets out. He's gonna deploy the second one very soon. Meanwhile, Ganji's coming in. He's gonna try and take the trebuchet down, and I think he's gonna manage to do it. Yes, and that was not particularly close. Well done. Not enough defenses over here for the bull player to speak up. Ganji's getting the second castle up defensively, so he's got Hussar on the way. Ganji, he's got Plate, Bard, and Armor, which is going to work pretty well against crossbows, but once again against Arbalesters, maybe not so much. So Hera finally goes for the last upgrade for his archer units. This castle is going down, there's no question about it. There is one trebuchet left over here for Hera only, but while Ganji does have enough villagers to repair this castle, he's not going for it. He's just letting the trebuchet take the castle down, and with the second one coming out, 8 villagers is not going to be enough anymore, right? Unfortunately for Ganji, he does not take the best engagements over here. In the end, castle goes down, the Hussar get destroyed by the Arbalesters, so he does not manage to get the trebuchets down. A little bit of a risky play over there, to be sure. For Ganji, ends up losing a fortification because of it, and Hera was trying to go forward, realized about the outpost, and decided to go for the castle a little bit more defensively as well. The villager decided to path somewhere else to build other walls than to finish those. Yeah, unfortunately for Ganji, Hera didn't realize about this, otherwise this could have been catastrophic. Ganji does have an outpost, so he should be aware of this, but it's not really a point of interest that he's going to be paying attention to too much, right? Castle is getting the lead. It's getting the nod, actually. Yes, sir. There's already a second castle coming out for the red player, so if he manages to get that castle up, that's going to be great. And check this out. Check this out. Hera's quick wall over here buys him a lot of time with the Arbalesters, fabricates a choke point over here for the Arbalesters to work out of in the end. The bull player will end up getting cleaned up. Will he actually? He won't. He ended up losing a bunch of units, but he was able to clean up the Hussar from Ganji, but it's not the end of it. Red player is going for more and more, and Hera's trying to get the quick walls up, and he's gonna be able to do it. Beautiful. He almost traps those Hussar over there. But in the end, Ganji does manage to come in. 2 Hussar left, not too high HP rather, so it's unlikely he'll be able to get too much damage down, but there is a 3rd castle on the way for the red player. He has been going for trebuchets, he has been going for bombard cannons as well. Bombard cannons are especially deadly from the Hindustanis over here against Khmer specifically, because of the Khmer not getting access to gunpowder. Well, not bombard cannons, actually, they do get hand cannoneer. The raid's coming in though. from Ganji. Looking deadly, and Hera's going for light cavalry himself. With the Khmer, he does get access to Hazar as well, but he's just not gone for it yet. He does not have the resources. Got too many light cavalry right now. Queued up. And the villager count is close? Yes. Ganji has, however, taken 25 villagers from Hera throughout the game, so Hera did end up spending some resources to keep up with villagers, spending some extra resources to keep up with the villager count, because of course Ganji has reduced the villager count for Hera quite a lot. Castle on the way now for Hera. Ganji, where are the trebuchets? Where are the bombard cannons? Yeah, and Ganji's wrecking all sorts of havoc around Hera's base, and Hera still though manages to get 200 population or close to it. Just 1 second ago he had so many units in production that he was kind of getting pop capped, interestingly enough. There we are. Oh, bombard cannon's disappearing again. That's why you couldn't see it. It's somewhere here. There we go. And it disappears. There we go. Hera goes on to call the GG, and damn, Ganji looks absolutely unstoppable in game number 1. And we'll see though if he's able to keep up with this kind of performance or not. But this is already a little bit of a result, and of a surprising result rather. So let's go through the achievements as usual before going back and crossing the map and the civs. Better KD for Ganji in the end is gonna be 5-4. Well, for economy, we have a stronger economy for Ganji as well, collecting about 6,000 extra resources. Society, we have a villager max count that is higher for Ganji by about 5 villagers or so, and it's looking great. It's looking really, really good. Yes, yes, we can. And it's gonna be Chinese versus Berbers, interestingly enough. Okay, I'm very curious as to what Ganji has in store for game number 2 then. Given the fact that he had Gujaras also available as a civilization, we have seen Gujaras already in the past taking the Chinese. This is going to be Berber time! Where is Guzmanian when you have one of the civilizations he loves so much? So without further ado, let's just begin talking about the civs right away. Hera. For the Chinese, we'll begin with 3 extra villagers, the expense of 200 food and 50 wood. Besides that, we also see for the blue player with the civilization. There we are. He's gonna have... Beautiful. He's gonna have with the Chinese 5 extra line of sight and 5 higher population support per TCs. 10, 15, and 20% cheaper upgrades in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages also make up for some of the bonuses from the Chinese. While finally the team bonus will provide them with 10% additional food and farms for free. Meanwhile, Ganji's got the Berbers, right? So 10% faster moving villagers, 15, 20% cheaper stable unit production in the Castle and Imperial Ages. While for the team bonus, it's gonna get access to Genie Turn. That's about it. So Berbers are a civilization with a very high potential for damage. Once you get to later stages of the game, starting in the Castle Age because of the discount on stable unit production, but it's not a civilization that's going to be particularly strong for economy early on. Well, the Chinese already begin with 3 extra villages in Hera. Maybe ended up getting a little bit too much idle TC time compared to what we have seen from the Chinese otherwise, but it's still going to be good for a 2-villager lead when going up to the fuel age, and that can make a big difference, of course. If you can take advantage of your extra economy in the fuel age, put some extra pressure, and transition into the castle age and a stronger economy, then you kind of negate the bonus for the Berbers a little bit just by virtue of having a stronger economy to work with and being able to sustain a comparable military production if you were going to go for military, right? As for the map generation, and taking a look at the bull player first, we'll see that yeah, the Mr. Hera, he's got the main goal in the back, he's got the secondary goal on the left hand side, and then he's got the main stone on the right hand side and the secondary stone towards the south. He is collecting from this wool line already, and he does have another one over here as well that he could potentially protect if he were to go for walls like this. We have seen players actually go for greedier walls than I was anticipating on this map already, so wouldn't be surprised if Hera went for something like this. This way he would be able to secure this, secure this, secure this, of course secure both the wool lines and secure the stone as well. And if he does end up still collecting fish from here for a while, or if he still keeps on collecting wood from here, potentially stone from here, or gold from there, he should have villagers at hand to keep the walls up. A little bit of a skirmish though. Goes in favor of Ganji, and Hera bails. So, taking a look at the map generation for Mr. Ganji on the other hand, what do we get for the red player? He's got the main gold on the right hand side, secondary gold up in the north, main stone on the left hand side, secondary stone on the right hand side, and we have berries towards the southeast as well. All these resources are either side-ish or forward. He's got nothing on the back other than just wood. So if he went for something like walls like this, he would be able to secure a lot of extra wood, right? Like he would have this wood line, the stone, the gold as well. Even if these are not technically like strictly on the back, this gold is side-ish. The stone, you can say it's kind of on the back if you just draw a straight line between the players over here, right? But that would still actually be pretty good. And you know what? I think I'm actually preferring Hera's map over here. The berries are a little bit more exposed, yes, and he's collecting wood, interestingly enough, from the other side of the wood line, I imagine because of the way that the woodland generated with a little nook over there. But yeah, you know, he does manage to secure a lot of resources by going for walls like that, if he does end up going for something like that, of course. Like, it's a conditional, right? I think I prefer Ganji's map if he gets the walls up. Otherwise, Hera's map is just so much better. As is, from the get-go. Yeah, the blue player seems to have a much better map generation. Scouts are coming out already for Ganji. Hera is going for his scouts as well, but of course, Ganji's got the defender's advantage here, so he does have 2 versus 1 scouts. And as Hera's coming in, Ganji might actually end up taking a villager loss. Yes, he's not paying attention over here at all. He's trying to pay attention to the military. He's bringing the scouts over. That was good. That was a good reaction from Ganji. And Hera? Well, Hera is going to keep on racking up a little bit of extra idle TC time, so it seems to me like he's struggling to keep up, right? There we go. Hera's trying to find an opening. We know there is no such thing around Ganji's base. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Ganji is going to have pretty much the entirety of Hera's base at his disposal, in a sense. The little player has not taken the time to get the walls up whatsoever. And here comes Ganji. 2 scouts over there from Hera. Will still be strong enough to take on the scouts from Ganji so long as they get some support from the villagers. So Ganji knows the numbers over here are not good enough for him to take an engagement over there. He's just going to bail. Back home, he is defending against 3 additional scouts from Hera. The blue player did spend some extra resources going for additional units. So far, we can see that KD is 0-0. So Ganji has pocketed the resources that Hera has otherwise invested into going for the scouts. For the most part, Ganji did go for a spearman over there. Right, so that's gonna be 60 resources. Still a little bit cheaper compared to a scout, but it's interesting to see that despite all that, Hera's economy is still looking stronger compared to Ganji's. It's got a lot of extra food. Has been able to keep up with the farm production as well. He's got more food workers. Ganji is trying to fix that. He's going for extra farms himself. Yeah, remember what I said earlier? I think I prefer Ganji's map when he gets the walls up. If he does not get the walls up, then definitely not the biggest fan of his map generation. So he's got the gold and the stone, both main resources, as part of the walls, which means the moment Hera goes for a mangonel or a couple crossbows, well, Ganji is denied of so much of his economy. Meanwhile, Hera, on the other hand, of course, he's collecting gold from behind, which is super safe. Still has some berries over there, still has the stone. Yeah, and the castle age is coming up now for the guys. Beautiful. Well, these players will be in the castle age very soon. Hera does have a 51-second head start to it or so, and Ganji doesn't want to take this engagement. Even if he's got a spearman over there, it's going to be only 2 scouts, right? Meanwhile, Hera is on a much better position. So this one is going down from Ganji for sure. And this one, he's going to be able to survive with it for the time being. He's got 1 remaining scout somewhere on the right-hand side over here. But he wasn't really able to do too much. In the end, Ganji's just trying to get some scouting information, and hopefully that's going to be enough. Well, let's take a look at what kind of scouting information Ganji has gotten so far. Well, yeah, he knows about the gold miners, he knows about the lumberjacks, he knows about these lumberjacks, and he doesn't know about these gold miners. Here on the other hand, what? Hera's going with the Chinese with a double monastery full push against Ganji. He's expecting the red player to go heavy cavalry production over here, and of course Ganji will oblige with the Berbers getting their discount started in the castle age. Triple stable production is going to become a possibility for the Swedish player, so he's got already all 3 stables queued up with knights. Not a whole lot of gold miners, mind you, but he is trying to expand the walls in a way that will allow him to saturate the gold a little bit better. And here come the monks. Ganji is already aware of the monks coming out. He should be already aware of the monasteries coming up as well. And he is aware of both those monasteries over there, so he's going for light cavalry right away. The reaction over here is really swift for Ganji and appropriate as well. Boso is on the way. Husbandry is coming up, and he's got his own monastery coming in. So who's got the better monks? Berbers, they get all the bonuses. All the bonuses, I mean all the monastery technologies. Except for block printing. Except for sanctity. And I think those are the only two. I'm actually not 100% sure they get heresy or not. But they don't get sanctity and they don't get block printing. I know those two are out of the question. However, I do believe that they get everything else. Let me just take a look at that real quick. From the Berbers. And yes, they don't have sanctity, they don't have block printing, they have everything else. Meanwhile, the Chinese don't get redemption. There we are. So the conversion coming in from Hera. Yeah, and Ganji cannot really take an engagement so long as the monks are over there for Hera, of course. And the Chinese on the other hand, they don't get redemption, they don't get heresy, and for everything else, they will have access to everything. So it's pretty similar. One is going to be redemption, the other is going to be block printing, redemption. Arguably more important in the Castle Age, block printing more important in the Imperial Age, but here we are. See already one monk going down. We're actually going to see more than one monk going down. 3 monks going down already. From Hera to Ganji scouts. And now Ganji should be able to resume full cavalry production. The thing though is he's housed right now. Pretty severely so as well. He ended up deleting some of the houses he had next to the goal over here to free up the space. And in the end, of course, it does come at a price. Now he's getting the houses up once again. He'll be able to resume night production or camel production. He's got camels coming out right now. Makes sense against the Chinese, but he's struggling to keep up, and Hera's in a better spot. Yeah, the villager count is so much higher for Hera right now. Ganji has just been housed forever. Take a look at this idle TC time. Only 5 extra seconds of idle TC time for Hera. The Chinese should have naturally about 2 extra villagers. Ganji has gone for wheelbarrows, so let's extend that to 5 extra villagers, and then Ganji has not taken any villager losses over here, so Hera should be 5 villagers ahead, but he is 12 villagers ahead, and that just goes to show how long Ganji has been housed over here. It's not been the best performance for the red player compared to how he played game number 1. This is probably not what a lot of people were expecting. Hey Blanky Babu, hi, welcome back. Hope you're doing alright. And of course, it's not just the idle TC time, it's also some of the conversions, right? Hera did take some of the villagers away from Ganji as well. So yes, you're correct, Turnip, as well. Even accounting for that, that'll be a lot. Yeah, and Ganji does end up calling the GG over here. 4 gold, true. He did have the opportunity of walling to the edge of the map and securing this one, but didn't take it, and the goal in the end does get denied. And production over there is not going to be strong enough anymore for Ganji, and Hera does end up taking game number 2 to equalize the series, and we'll see who takes the set with game number 3 coming up in just a moment. But okay, for Hera, we have for economy, a stronger economy for Hera as well. Society, looking better for Hera. Overall, the game looking so much stronger for the Canadian. Equalizing the series over here, and certainly is going to try to get himself the full set by taking game number 3. Let's go back and work the draft out. And we are in game number 3, everyone. Welcome to the final game of the series, where the players will define who takes the set. versus who takes a big fat L. Of course, whoever loses over here will still walk away from the set with 1 point under their belt, as we have 1 victory already for both these players. And for civilizations, it's going to be Bohemians versus Aztecs, actually. And I am liking the Bohemians better over here. We'll see what Hera manages to do with the Aztecs for sure, but let's talk about the civilizations first. Let's start introducing Hera's civilization first. The blue player will get the ability to garrison. Actually, what am I talking about? He's going to have the ability to carry 3 extra resources per trip with the villagers for free. He's got, in addition to that, 50 extra gold upon starting the game. Military units train 11% faster, except for monks, but monks will get extra HP per each monastery technology that they research. And then for the team bonus, finally, the Aztecs get 33% faster gold income from relics, while taking a look at Ganji civilization on the other hand. The red player gets free mining camp upgrades. He's gonna have a 100 wood discount on blacksmiths and universities, in addition to, for the Bohemians, Sanctity and Fervor that affects villagers, and Chemistry and Hand Cannoneer available in the Castle Age. Besides that, the civilization will also have 25% higher bonus damage for spearline units, and for the team bonus, finally, the Bohemians will have, in addition to all of that, 80% faster working markets. That is not something that he'll be able to take advantage of very much in a 1v1. Yeah, well, here on the other hand, he's got all his bonuses are going to be fantastic, of course. Let's take a look at the map generation next, starting with the blue player. The main goal for the blue player is on the back, which is absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful. It's very far away from the wall, so it's not spottable by a scout. The secondary goal is on the back as well, and then we have the main stone on the left-hand side, which is good. While on the right-hand side, there is a... The berries are going to be far, right? Kind of close to the walls. Hey Nova, I subscribed to your channel because I saw you on YouTube answering how much you know about... playing Quantas Hours Delage. And I really love that you stream matches in English. And that I met your beautiful province. Hey, thank you so much. Peche. Is that right? Lo digo así? Peche. Thank you so much for the support and for your kind words. And for the subscription, of course. I'm really sure if you have shared it already. If you go to the top of the chat panel, there's... Well, you probably know, right? I would imagine this is not the first time that you subscribe. I know some English, but I admire yours. Thank you. I'll tell you one thing, though. It's taken a long time to get to this point. You know, everyone starts at the very beginning, and it's up to you what you do from there. It's still not... And I always say this. It's still not where I want it to be, but... It's close enough right now that it's not really the highest priority thing for me to work on right now. I'm trying to work on my German instead. Surely you've learned since very young? A little bit, most of it. I've actually learned the past, like during my 20s, for the most part. When I was younger, I would just know a few words and some very, very, very basic theory. Alright, so for Ganji's map generation, he's got the main goal on the back as well, and this seems to be very consistent, right? The map generation for both these players. We see the main goal on the back over there for Hera as well. And then we're gonna have the secondary goal, kind of forward for Ganji, so this is already a departure. Compared to Hera's map generation, you can see that the blue player, he has the secondary goal kind of on the back of his base. Meanwhile, Ganji's secondary goal is going to be forward. Now, what is the issue with this? If you are to take into account the location of this secondary gold, in the case that we see the blue player scout around here and he's going over there, I'm not really sure that scout's going to have enough vision already. I think it might. American scouts, like Eagle Scouts, are actually better for scouting in terms of vision, right? So if he got vision of this, and let me take a look. He doesn't yet. I am very sure if he had just scouted a little bit closer to the walls, he would have gotten vision of this. And the thing about this is, because of this generation of the gold, if Hera were to go for a forward castle at some point in time, he would know about this gold, and then he would be able to go for like one castle over here, let's say, if the annotations work properly. Oh god. How do I disable the magnet? I need to check that. You know what? Screw it. We're going to make it a thick boy. But if you were to go for a forward castle like this, then he would be able to deny 1, 2, 3 golds. And of course, only 2 of these are really Ganjis, right? The secondary one over here close to the wall, and then this one outside the walls. But that would be fantastic. That will leave the red player on a single gold. And given that he's playing with Bohemians, you know, man, if you strike Bohemians from gold, it can be rough. It can be rough for the red player. So anyway, we have a market and the blacksmith on the way. Now for Hera's gonna just play for the castle age. Ganji is going for a market and a blacksmith himself as well. No stables coming up for anybody. No one's gonna try. Of course, Hera does not get access to it, but Ganji's not going for it either, and that means no map control over here for Ganji necessarily. So whoever wants to try and collect the relics is gonna have to go for something else. Well, we know that Hera can go for scouts, Eagle Scouts, but he will need a barracks for that as well, and he doesn't have one right now. So is no one gonna try and go for the relic? That is not how this game works, right? You're playing arena, you have to go for the relic, so it's probably just going to be a matter of who goes for it first. Oh, by the way, listening to stuff in English, fantastic way to practice your English as well. Listening skills, of course. One thing that really helped me out, I think, was watching movies and TV series in English with English subtitles. And then when you feel more comfortable with a certain topic, a certain series or something like that, you can try to turn the captions off. That's what I did for YouTube. And yeah, now I'm pretty much able to understand almost anything in English without captions, just by listening to the spoken language. Almost anything, because still some dialects and some jargon is still going to be unknown to me. But anyway, that is how I learned English too. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so Ganji gets to the castle age. He's got a second TC on the way in 2 monasteries coming up right away. 2 monasteries. Meanwhile, Hera's going for the double monastery play himself as well. Nice to see. No second TC coming up for Hera yet, though. He does not have the resources. Will he count to the LAN event Hera's girlfriend is organizing in Buenos Aires? If I get invited, yeah, for sure. Otherwise, I don't think I'm going to have the time. Because of streaming and because of work as well, as you guys know, or might not know, but I did take on a part-time gig that is taking some time as well. Also already on the way for Hera. Ganji gets housed once again. It's been a recurrent issue for him the last 2 games. There we are. House is on the way. Not the best though. But hey, I would love that. Maybe they need somebody to cast in English. Well, Roxy, of course, can do that as well. Her English is actually, I think, better than mine, actually, even. First really coming in already for Ganji. Hera He's got the monks already outside the gates. He's going for the relic himself. It's gonna be 1-1. There's another relic on the way for Ganji very soon, so it's gonna be 2 relics for the red player. It's gonna be probably 2 relics for Hera as well. He is going for the farther relics first, though.
Okay.
This one down the south. So it's gonna be 2 relics for each player, and then this one's still up for grabs. Hera's got the Eagle Scout, Ganji. He's got the Scout Cavalry over here, but he's a little bit too far away. He's getting closer now and should be able to collect that final relic. So here comes the Scout. We see the conversions coming up over there, and he gets the conversion. How? Because he was using both these monks and these guys. In the end, oh, but the counter conversion, come on! What are the chances? Ganji gets the conversion back over there, and now another conversion coming in. And in the end, Hera is forced into deleting the Scout, but Ganji is closer to the relics, and it's just going to be a matter who walks faster. As Ganji was closer to the relic, and the monks walk at the same speed, he does end up collecting the relic. He's going to end up converting the Eagle Scout over here as well. And Atonement's nowhere to be seen. I was taking a look at the HP of the monks just a moment ago because I thought maybe Hera had gone for Sanctity to hold on against the Scout over there, right? But he's got it now. He's got it! He's got Atonement! He did go for Atonement. Now Atonement's coming in for Ganji, but in the end, it's going to be Hera, the one to collect the final relic. And what an interesting turn of events over there. The engagement in the last 2 minutes or so was so damn exciting, and Hera will end up walking away victorious here as Ganji walks back home. Only now gets Atonement. The monk carrying the relic already got converted, of course, and I gotta wonder, was Hera saving the monk conversion over there for the last second or what? Because let me actually go back a little bit to when that actually happened, right? We see... When was Atonement coming in? Like, I don't see it right now. He already had it at this point, and he could have tried to get a conversion, but he didn't. I think he forgot that he had researched it. Or I think maybe he queued it up, and then he didn't realize when it finished researching. We know that he already had it over here because of the extra HP. And in the end, there we go, he makes use of it, but what an interesting turn of events. I'm just going to go back one more second because I'm going to use this for the thumbnail for the YouTube video for sure. All the different conversions coming in at the same time. There we go. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Now let's try and catch up. See Trishap on the way for Hera. And the monk conversions coming in. Beautiful. In the end, Hera does end up walking away with 3 monks. Does end up deleting those though. And Ganji does end up getting 2 additional monks he does not have to delete. So overall, I am liking Ganji's in the bargain over there significantly better compared to Hera's. And there we go, we are completely caught up once again. There we go, that is a lot of monks though, and the conversions are coming up. Oh boy! Theological exchange program. Yeah, this is all the lines. It's so weird to see. It looks like a neural network in a sense. Yeah, and Ganji comes out on top. My lord, that was not even close. 13-2 military units for Ganji and Hera respectively. You gotta respect the Bohemians. You gotta respect Ganji. Conversions coming in. He's got redemption already. Absolutely amazing. Is Ganji gonna try to go after the barracks? He could. I mean, what is Hera gonna do to stop it? Siege Workshop already gets converted. A bunch of extra barracks coming up, and Hera will try to make a play for full Eagles. Well, Ganji will... Remember, he gets access to chemistry and hand cannoneer in the castle age, so if he realizes about the extra barracks coming in, I think it's a little bit of a mistake for Ganji to be this passive. I think it'll be significant. Yeah, there we go. So he's going to try and get the archer ranges up, right? He can go for chemistry right away already. He's just not going for it, but he can. He's... Yeah, there we go. He's got it now. So he's going to start going for hand cannoneer. And I was going to say he should try to get some extra scouting information to make sure that he knows what Hera's up to. If you go with a monk along the walls like this, you're going to get so much vision into your opponent's base, and he would already be able to see the extra barracks coming up, and he should pretty much be aware of exactly what Hera's thinking of going to, right? But he is making a prediction. He is making an educated guess over here. He's playing against Aztecs. He's going heavy with monks, so he's expecting Eagles. And if Eagles is what Hera's going to go for, Ganji is going to make sure that he's prepared against that. So in 30 seconds, he's going to finish researching chemistry. 20 seconds, he's going to get access to the hand cannoneer unit. And while the Imperial Age finishes researching for Hera, only now he's going to start getting the castle out. So let's take a look at the conversions coming up. Hera, he's got block printing coming in. He's got fervor on the way. Ganji, on the other hand, he is still 5 seconds away from the Imperial Age. We're sending a ramp forward. The ramp's going down. He's going to start collecting stone quite heavily. He does get enough before to go for a castle of his own, mind you. As he gets to the Imperial Age, we're going to see bombard cannons. We're going to see hand cannoneer on the way. A castle coming up. In addition to illumination and block printing, they definitely want to go for theocracy as well as soon as possible. Hera's going for illumination right now himself too. And my lord, this game is quite something already. And I don't really care who wins over here. This has already been quite the show already, so I can't really ask for too much more than that. It seems to me that it's better with Bohemians to go for than to just defend. Oh, than to just defend? Isn't that true for most civilizations, given the choice? Well, they do say the best defense is a good offensive, right? But yeah, I don't know about that. I would say depending on the matchup, right? You're probably better off going for full economy if you're playing, you know, a late game civilization versus a civilization that's significantly better earlier. We can talk like Berbers against Magyars, for instance, something like that. Magyars are going to lend themselves to full aggression. Barcan is already out. Here come the conversions. That is a lot of units targeted over here. The conversions are connecting, but still, it's not going to be enough. The Eagle Warriors are coming out on top. Hand Cannoneer on the other hand, the Hand Cannoneer will take care of these units. So that is a lot of resources down the drain. Ganji down to only one monk. Meanwhile, Hera's still going for a few extra. He's got 7. He's got more queued up. Here we go. More conversions coming in from here as well. Of course, the only player left on any monks, but Ganji's just gone for heresy. He will not be handing over any units to Hera, and the castle goes down for the Aztec player. Genji's going to end up losing his own castle over here very soon if he's not careful about the trebuchets over there. It seems like it's not going to be enough, and he runs out of resources. The castle runs out of time. Well, Ganji is still on a good amount of hand cannoneer over here. He needs to start producing from more than just 3 archer ranges or 2 archer ranges over here if he wants to keep up. Of course, monks from Hera with elimination will not really struggle too much. Oh, Genji's going after the monks with villagers. Oh my lord. If he can hold on against the Eagle Warriors over here and keep the hand cannoneer alive, and you know what? He's going to do it for the most part. He might actually come out on top over here. Such a weird game. The hand cannoneer coming out right now. We have a good amount of eagles over here as well, but Ganji's going after the monks. He's been able to get a bunch of units already so far. Remember, the Bohemians with Fervor already get faster villagers. He's got Sanctity, so the villagers are a little bit tankier as well. And it certainly makes this play a little bit saner. Not as crazy for Ganji. In the end, he does end up getting a bunch of the monks down. But Hera keeps on going for more, of course. He's got 5 monks out. He's got 5 monks queued up. He's got triple monastery production. And Genji's coming in with a hand cannoneer. Still not the best production. No, and he's sending a bunch of villagers out. Ganji is going for it, but he needs to protect the villagers against a hand cannoneer. He needs to do it. He is trying to bait Hera into converting the villagers so that he can make use of the hand cannoneer, but Hera's unit control over here is actually really good. He does end up targeting even the hand cannoneer with the trebuchet. He does end up reducing these units quite a lot. Now Hera is still on over 5 monks, so this push from Genji has actually not really achieved too much. In the end, Hera does end up on a higher amount of monks than what he had just a few minutes ago, right? So Genji's just losing a lot of villages over here, not really getting much in exchange. Even if he's got a lot of hand cannoneer coming out, and even if he's got a lot of these Eagle Warriors go down and get one shot by the hand cannoneer, he's got to be very careful. Unit control's got to be on point for Ganji to take a better engagement over here, because the trebuchets from here are still targeting the units individually. Now he's got extra monasteries on the way, and we see more villages coming in from Ganji as well. He's not going for any extra villages over here, so this is a go all in kind of play from the red player. He's going after the trebuchets. Screw the monks. He does not care about that anymore. He's just going after the trebs, and this has been really problematic for his units right now. There's only 2 trebuchets available over here for the bull player, but both these are getting targeted by the villagers as well. So if he can hold on to a good amount of hand cannoneer, if he can hold on to enough units to take the eagles down, to potentially take the monks down, he might be onto something. But right now Ganji's struggling as the trebuchet is being repaired as well by Hera. The red player is not the one over here to play cautiously. He has sent half his economy forward already, trying to get the trebuchets down, trying to get the monks down, and while he was able to get most of the trebuchets down, he's not replenished his villagers. He's not managed to keep a good amount of hand cannoneer out, and now he's got a very strong production queue. But Hera did come out on top over there for sure. The engagement certainly did not favor the red player, as we see Hera on almost twice the population compared to Ganji. And what a fantastic game that we have seen over here. It's been just crazy. Ganji, the supremacy mindset? Yeah. He's playing, in his mind, he's playing Spanish. Maybe he thought he was playing Burgundians and forgot. That the Flemish militia are not supposed to look like villagers. Regardless though, we have now Theocracy for Hera. So that's going to make these monks much easier to play with as well. You get a group conversion and you'll still be able to use the rest of the group. It's going to utilize the fate of a single monk only, right? And that is a lot of hand cannoneer, mind you, but Ganji is definitely on the back foot. He's sending all his villagers once again to try and take the monks down. The monks with Theocracy protected by Eagle Warriors, will not crumble to the villagers. While the hand cannoneer is still looking very strong against Eagle Warrior units, the numbers are favoring Hera by quite a lot. This has got a 50% stronger military count right now compared to Ganji, and it's not going to be the end of it, right? He's got right now a lot of extra eagles on the way, a lot of extra monks on the way, and it seems like Hera's just decided to make a play for monks instead, no more eagles. And I guess it does make sense. The eagles do go down to the hand cannoneer, while the monks of course will go down to the hand cannoneer too. At the very least, they have range. The eagles, they need to close the gap before trying to take the hand cannoneer down. Meanwhile, the monks over here, they can start converting from very far away. So it's going to be more micro intensive, but at the same time, if you do have the APM for it, it should be the better option, right? Like with perfect monk micro, it should result in more hand cannoneer going down compared to just going for full Eagle Warriors. But Ganji is pushing Hera away from here though. Oh my lord, this game is blowing my mind. And if Ganji is ever able to come out on top, I'm just going to lose my mind. I don't see how Ganji is ever able to come out on top over here, but he did manage to push Hera away, right? Baby steps. Nah, it can't. Can it? It can't be. It can't be. Ganji cannot take this game. Yeah, Hera's economy right now is too strong, and Ganji's just going in for the memes. He goes on to call the GG as Hera does end up taking game number 3. We'll see the Canadian get the series with the final score of 2-1 with a very, very strong opening from Ganji in game number 1, mind you. Hera ends up having to come back into the set. So we know that Ganji's got it in him. What it takes to take games from these incredible players, but at this point in time, Hera's going to be the one coming out on top. Well done. Is Hazard reforms in? I don't think he had the economy to aspire to go for Hazard reforms, unfortunately. And he didn't have a castle, right? So I would most likely say no. And if it did, you know, he was not going for monks. So let's go and take a look at the achievements. We're going to be jumping into the second set of the day in just a moment. For now, we take a look at the achievements for game number 3 for Ganji and Hera, and we see a better KD for Ganji. We see for economy, stronger economy for Hera that is not particularly close. We'll see 8,500 extra resources for the Canadian. And for society, a higher villager max count for Hera, but not only that, he produced fewer villagers throughout the game compared to Ganji, but he only took 6 losses, which is why his villager max count is looking so much better. While Ganji, he ended up producing more villagers compared to Hera, so he spent more resources on economy, but he ended up losing about 92 or so villagers.